He said he was already inside. Back in early 2022, I was working part-time as an Uber driver in a mid-sized city in Oregon. I'd picked up the gig after being laid off from my office job. I wasn't exactly thrilled about driving strangers around, but the money was decent, especially on weekend nights. You meet all kinds of people doing this job. Most are fine. Some are drunk. A few are just weird. But one ride in particular, that one still keeps me up sometimes. It was a Sunday night just past 11 p.m. I remember it clearly because it had been raining off and on all day, and I was thinking about calling it a night. I had done about 4 rides already, nothing unusual, when I got one last ping. Pickup was just 5 minutes away. The name on the request said, Ryan. I figured, why not? One last ride, then I'm done. I followed the GPS to a quiet residential neighborhood, not a bad area, just quiet and tucked away. The pin was at the end of a cul-de-sac next to a small, 2-story house with a white picket fence and a red mailbox. Looked pretty typical. I pulled up in front, put the car in park, and looked around. No one was outside. Porch light was off. House looked dark. I checked the app. Yep, I was in the right place. I waited about a minute, then tapped the I've arrived button. Another minute passed. Still no one came out. Then I got a message in the app's chat. I'm inside. Can you just come to the door? That threw me off. I've had people ask me to meet them at a specific door or corner, but never someone asking me to come inside. I replied with, Hey, I'm parked right out front. You can just come out when you're ready. A moment later, the little typing dots appeared. Then a new message popped up. I already came outside. I'm in your back seat. I swear to God, my heart dropped into my stomach. I turned around so fast I nearly gave myself whiplash. The back seat was empty. I sat frozen for a second, staring into the rearview mirror like maybe I missed something. But no, there was nobody in my car. I messaged again. What do you mean you're in the back seat? The car is empty. No response. A full minute passed. Then another message. I was just joking. Be out in a second. I didn't know whether to be creeped out or annoyed, but either way, my gut was starting to feel uneasy. I locked the doors. Another minute passed. No one came out. Just as I was about to cancel the ride and leave, I saw movement. A figure stepped out from between 2 houses across the street. Not from the house I was parked in front of. Not from the pin location. He was walking slowly, wearing dark jeans and a soaked black hoodie with the hood pulled up. He walked with a weird kind of shuffle, like he wasn't quite steady. I rolled the window down a bit and called out, You Ryan? He didn't answer. Just walked over to the rear passenger door and tried to open it. It was locked. I hesitated, then rolled the window down a bit more and said, Hey, what's your name? Still no answer. He just stared at me through the gap in the window. His face was pale, eyes wide. I couldn't tell if he was high or just off. But something wasn't right. Finally, I said, I'm gonna need you to confirm your name before I unlock the door. He said, very slowly, I already told you, I'm inside. My entire body went cold. I don't even remember putting the car in gear. I just hit the gas and drove straight out of that cul-de-sac as fast as I could without spinning out on the wet pavement. My hands were shaking. I kept glancing in the mirrors, half expecting to see someone sitting up in the back seat. I drove to a gas station about 10 minutes away and parked under the bright lights just to catch my breath. I checked the app. The ride request was gone. Not canceled, gone. Like it was never there. No trip history. No name. No messages. The chat thread disappeared. All I had was the eerie memory of those words. I already told you. I'm inside. Later that night, I submitted a report to Uber. They said there was no record of the ride. No user profile under that name. They even suggested I might have been scammed by someone using a fake GPS app to ping my location. But how? The chat was through their system. I've tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was someone messing with me. Maybe it was a prank gone too far. Maybe the guy was just mentally ill and picked a random car to approach. But that message, "I'm in your back seat," before he was ever in sight, there's no explaining that. Needless to say, I stopped working nights after that. Hell, I stopped driving for Uber altogether a few weeks later. Too many weird vibes. Too many almost moments. But this one's the one I still think about when I glance at my backseat before getting in. Because every time I do, I hear those words again in my head. "I already told you, I'm inside. Don't turn around until I say so." This happened to me last year in late September. I drive for Uber part-time in Austin, Texas. I usually stick to the night shift since the pay's better, and I actually enjoy how calm the streets get after midnight. But that also means I end up picking up some interesting people. This ride started just after 2:30 a.m. on a Thursday. I was dead tired and just about to head home when I got a request from someone named Jamie. The pickup location was a diner downtown, one I'd been to plenty of times. I figured it was just someone needing a ride home after a late night snack. Easy money. When I got there, the parking lot was almost empty. Just a couple of cars and some flickering neon signs. I saw a girl standing near the side entrance. She looked like she was maybe in her early 20s, wearing a flannel over a black t-shirt and jeans. She had a backpack on and was scrolling through her phone. I rolled up slowly and asked, "Jamie?" She looked up, nodded quickly, and got in the back seat without saying a word. As soon as she shut the door, I noticed something was off. She was breathing heavily. Not like she had been running, just short, shallow breaths, like she was trying not to panic. I glanced at her in the mirror and asked, "You okay?" She didn't respond. She just looked out the window and mumbled, "Can we go?" "Like now?" "Sure," I said, putting the car in gear. "The drop-off address still good?" She hesitated. "Yeah, just drive fast, please." I pulled out of the lot and headed toward the address in the app, which was about 20 minutes away in a quieter residential neighborhood. We rode in silence for the first few minutes, but I couldn't stop glancing in the mirror. She was clutching her backpack tightly to her chest and kept looking out the back window like she was expecting someone to follow us. I finally asked, "Is everything all right? You seem a little." That's when she cut me off. "Don't turn around," she said. "No matter what, don't turn around until I say so." I didn't respond right away. I just stared at the road ahead and kept driving. My heart started beating faster. I didn't know if she was scared of someone or if this was some kind of setup. After a few seconds, I said, "Is someone following us?" She didn't answer. Then, very quietly, she added, "He was inside the diner." I didn't know what to make of that. Was she being followed by some guy? A stalker? An ex? "Okay," I said carefully. "Do you want me to take you to a police station instead?" "No," she whispered. "He'll be looking for that. Just take me to the address." That was the moment I realized this might be more serious than I thought. I stopped asking questions and just focused on driving. Every time we passed another car, I checked to see if it was following us. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. We were maybe 10 minutes away from the destination when I heard her unzip her backpack. I glanced in the mirror again, and what I saw made my blood run cold. She wasn't getting something out of the backpack. She was talking to it, whispering. I couldn't hear what she was saying, but her voice was low and frantic, like she was trying to calm someone down. Then I heard a scratching noise, like fingernails on fabric. I cleared my throat and said, "Everything all right back there?" She immediately zipped the bag up and hugged it tight again. "Just keep driving," she said. I didn't know what to do. Every part of me was screaming to pull over and get out of the car. But I didn't. I just drove. When we were about 5 minutes away, she finally spoke again. "He doesn't like it when I leave him alone. He gets angry." I didn't say anything. I didn't want to know what he meant. Then she said something I'll never forget. "He's in the trunk now." I nearly slammed on the brakes. "What did you say?" I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. "He didn't want to go," she said, "but I had to bring him. He said if I didn't, he'd find you instead." I didn't know whether to call the cops or jump out of the car. I wasn't sure if this girl was mentally unstable or if something truly terrifying was happening. We finally pulled up to the address, a small duplex with no lights on. She leaned forward and said, "Can you pop the trunk?" I didn't move. "Why?" She smiled, "So he knows we're home." My hand hovered over the trunk release, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. That's when I heard it. A loud thump from the back of the car, followed by another. Something, or someone, was in my trunk. I looked at her in the mirror. Her expression had changed. No more fear, just calm, almost content. She leaned in closer and said, "You shouldn't have picked me up." I slammed the gear into reverse and floored it out of the driveway. She screamed at me to stop, but I wasn't listening. I didn't care about the app or the trip or any penalties. I just needed her out of my car. I drove straight to a well-lit gas station about 2 miles away, jumped out, and called the police. They arrived within 5 minutes. When they opened the trunk, it was empty. Completely. No one there, nothing inside except a spare tire and some jumper cables. The girl was gone too. She had slipped out the moment I pulled into the lot while I was on the phone. Just vanished. I filed a report, but nothing ever came of it. No record of the trip in the app. No rider by the name Jamie. Just gone. But sometimes I still hear that thump in my sleep, and I still check my trunk every single night.